Nigeria is among the 8 countries that the UN says will account for more than half the world's population growth between now and 2050.
My name is Umair Hamid, and I grew up in Bangladesh. I was there for 16 years of my life, and then I moved to India for 2 years for boarding school, and now I'm here. So
Now
I'm a marketing major and a theater minor.
A theater minor?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, awesome, man.
Hi, I'm Ewa. I'm from Nigeria. I lived in Nigeria for 14 years, and I moved here. Yeah. I'm a biology major and a film studies minor. Yeah.
My name is Chisbel. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a senior studying electrical engineering and computer engineering minor.
So 19 of the 20 countries with the highest birth rates are in Africa. What are some things that you think about? And the birth rate in Bangladesh is very high also, by the way. I mean, you saw from those earlier numbers that Bangladesh is going to be a very populous country. When you all think about having children, as people from these countries that are the future, the growth areas of the world, what do you think about?
In Nigeria, it's kind of expected. I feel like that's just what most people do. I personally do not want children, but yeah, I just feel like it's just kind of when you're a woman, it's kind of just like, what else would you do?
What else would you do?
That's how it's looked at. Like, if you don't want children, a lot of the time it's kind of frowned upon.
Mm-hmm. So it's expected. Mm-hmm. And Ewa, you were shaking your head to that.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. Like after university, they keep asking you, they start asking you, when are you going to have children, all that stuff. And then, like she said, if you don't want to have children, they'll be like, what are you here for? As a female, what else can you do?
So is it expected of everybody, of every woman or every couple, let's just say, right? Of everyone to have children?
Yes.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah? It's just a given, like you don't even...
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people don't even realize that you have the choice not to. It's kind of just when you think of what you do, you just say, okay, I go to school, I get married, and I have children.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But you are saying, Chisbel, but you don't want to have kids. How many siblings do you have?
3.
You have 3?
Yeah, 3 sisters.
Uh-huh. And go ahead.
Oh yeah, they all want children, so I think my parents will have enough grandchildren.
So they're okay with that?
No.
They're still not okay with you not having kids?
I haven't said it yet, but I feel like it won't go over very well, but it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine because it'll have to be fine. Okay. So can you just go into that, like this idea? It's from what I'm hearing from you, you're kind of rare. I mean, do you talk about it with other people? I mean...
Yeah, I think it was just like a few years ago I realized that I actually have a choice. Because before, I think even just in most places, when you're a child, you probably think of, because you see what your parents did, then you're thinking like, oh, and you see a lot of people, that's what they do. So you kind of just think that's what you're probably going to do. Then you grow up and then you realize like what you actually want. But I think I've mentioned it to my sisters and things like that. But I feel like more people are realizing now that they don't have to go that route. But when people say that, they think it's, oh, you just want to be. You're just bitter, or you want to just focus on your career only, and that's kind of negative. It's like you're supposed to do what, like what women are kind of part of what they're made for.
What they're made for, right? Like it's just sort of like there's a creator, and the creator God put us on here, and they put women on here to have children, right? So given that what I'm hearing you say is like, hey, well, but now I'm here, like you're at Penn State. You're not, you're not back in Abuja or in Lagos or something, you're here. That means the world has opened up for you in a way that's different than many people. So you have options. Like you see that you have options in a way. So is it more likely people who are more educated are the ones who are going to make this decision about like, yeah, I'm not going to have kids? Would you say that? Does that feel?
Yeah, I would say that. Let's say, for example, if you're here, like, you don't have, like, a lot of family members to, like, put that pressure on you. But, like, when you're in Nigeria, like, you have nowhere to escape to. So, obviously, like, that pressure is going to be, like, constantly on you, yeah, to have kids.
So if you're in Nigeria, people are just going to hammer away at you to have kids.
Yeah, because there are family members everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, especially. How many siblings do you have?
I have 2 siblings, well, like, girls.
Yeah. And do you want to have children?
Oh, I want to have children because, like, we'll keep, like, the family legacy on. Because, like, we're all girls. We're going to lose the last name, so...
Yeah?
Yeah, we have to keep that going.
Well, how many kids do you want?
Like, 2 or 3.
2 or 3?
Yeah.
All right. Omer, how about you? How do people in Bangladesh see this? Because people in Bangladesh are having a lot of kids.
Yeah, I mean, it is expected, almost expected of every woman back in Bangladesh to have a child, at least. And it's mostly expected from the parents, actually. You know, the parents want a grandchild. That's the thing. Like, the parents want to play with a grandchild. The parents want to, you know, kind of see a grandchild be there. So they want, you know, the woman to have a kid. And it depends, again, on, like, the education. Like, you know, a lot of people in Bangladesh are not really educated. So for them, having kids is also a way of having people to work for them and bring income from them, right? So that's why they have this thing where they want to have more kids so that more kids can work. Because, you know, child labor is very, very, very much there over, you know, in Bangladesh. So more kids work, get a collective income for the parents. The parents really don't have to work and feeds the families. So, you know, that's why they end up having, like, more and more kids. Personally, for me, I mean, it's up whoever I get married to, it's up to them, their body, you know. I don't really, yeah.
So you could or could not have kids. So what I'm curious about, and I want to dig in a little further, is this sense of kind of just an expectation, right? So the birth rate, the reason that 19 of the 20 countries with the highest birth rates are in Africa, and Bangladesh is not very far behind, the reason is because there are 2 things going on. One is just this expectation and the pressure to have kids. It's just a given that you do. And the second one is the kids become a source of stability for you and, like, definitely taking care of, like, parents and so on as people get older, right? It's an entire society that revolves around a larger traditional family, as opposed to here in the United States where our lives are much more revolved around nuclear families. So for example, if I were to have kids, if my wife and I had children, we don't have any relatives here to participate in the lives of our children. Like, there's no grandparents, there's no aunts, there's no uncles. Like, we're living here in central Pennsylvania by ourselves. There's no large family. Our kids would have just gone to see their relatives a couple times a year. But societies that are built more around extended family, there's the pressure, and then it just becomes part of it. So you, though, have been able to say to yourself, like, yeah, I may or may not want children. And how much of that do you attribute to the fact that you come from the upper classes? I'm not going to say the upper class, but you come from the upper strata.
To be fair, I mean, you are right. You know, if I didn't belong to kind of, I don't want to, like, tag it, but yeah, if I didn't belong to the class I belonged to, I wouldn't really have a choice, to be fair. Both my parents are educated. You know, they understand, they've traveled, they know. You know, they give me that choice almost. But yeah, if I didn't come from that place, I would definitely be having kids right now, almost.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's like, you know, they want you to get married by the time you're 20, 21, and have kids by the time you're 22, 23, so that they can spend time with the grandchild, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for your parents, so I want to go back to the two of you also. So for your parents, becoming like grandparents is a thing that they do, the thing that's like, hey, I get to be a grandparent. But if you were from a different class of people, having children isn't about, hey, this will be really fun to be a grandparent, but it's like, no. You have to have children because we have to keep this whole family unit going. It's a different kind of pressure.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, that's there because you see the biggest difference comes in the fact that over here, kids move out of the house when they're 18 or 20, you know, get their own place. Over there, kids live with their parents till the end. Like, you live in the same house, even after you get married, in fact. Like, you know, you're staying with your parents. So over there, it's like the more the merrier, as they say. So they want, like, the house to be, you know, like almost like a legacy going on. You know, same last names, same everything, you know, trying to keep it bigger, I guess.
And this idea that family's really important, and this is the same what you're saying in Bangladesh, right? Family's really important, but what happens is the more money you make, right, the more you kind of get out into the world, the more worldly you are, the more you see things, the more you start to think about, wait a minute, my path in life as a human being, which may or may not involve parenting, right? If it involves parenting, like if I go up these steps right here, there's a future for me up that steps, these steps that are going to really confine me in many different ways, right? But if I decide, hey, I'm not going to have a bunch of kids, and I'm going to go up instead these steps over here, and then I'm going to experience a certain kind of freedom, which the three of you can experience more because you see it, right? Like just being here, man. Like bro, the poor areas in Dhaka. Like you can't even, they wouldn't even, people there wouldn't even believe that this exists at all. Same in poor areas, outside of Lagos, right? Some of just the 10 million people that just live in the favela. We say in Latin America, we say favelas, but slums, right? Like, what do you say in Nigeria?
Slums.
We just say slums, yeah. It feels like, that just feels like, what do you say in Bangladesh?
We say bosti.
Bosti?
Yeah.
Yeah, but even if it's not like in that kind of sense of wanting people to survive, I feel like, well, a big one is also, like you were saying about carrying your name on. Like, for example, like even up until as of a few years ago, when my dad's mom was still alive, she would still ask my mom, like maybe to consider adopting a boy or things like that, because of that kind of thing. So a lot of times, sometimes people will have 6 girls and keep trying until they get that boy, just because of those kind of things.
Yeah. So, man, it's crazy, right?
Like, I would say, like, like my mom would really want me to have a child because she wants a grandchild.
Yeah.
But it's not something like she would enforce on me.
Yeah, I got you.
But like for other people, yes, it's kind of unfortunate. But literally the day they get married, a few days later, you find out that they're pregnant.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
It's just a given. Yeah. Whereas here, like in the U.S., it's much more how you are living. Yeah.